Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Found in Interpretation podcast, the podcast that talks about interpretation, translation, technology, AI, you name it. I'm one of your co-hosts, Alain Breton, and I'm here with Brian. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking that. And we're also here with someone who has an incredible business acumen, is quite the entrepreneur, and a source of inspiration. Mohammed Moussa. How are you, Mohammed?
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the chance to talk to you on this lovely podcast. I'm sure it's going to be very interesting.
All right.
I promise. I promise.
Let's kick it. Okay, here we're here with Mohammed Moussa, and he is the founder of Global Audio Visual, which was founded in 1998. I was in Cégep back then. And he's in 2010, he serves as technical director, audio and simultaneous interpretation services for the International Olympic Committee meeting in Acapulco, Mexico. And in 2013, he's been official supplier for the Canadian Senate Committee. He pioneered, he's really an artist, an engineer, a very creative man, because he pioneered remote interpretation technology booth. Also, he created his own booth with some magnets that you could build, and a very creative man that we have with us. And Brian, you've been working with Mohammed for a number of years, right?
Yeah. So I started my company in 2005, and before that I was a freelancer. So I think I met Mohammed. I think we probably met like in 2004, 2005 when I was just starting. And it's been 20 years, and you've done some wonders in the last 20 years. Well, longer than that, since you started Global AV still in the 90s, last century. So, let's talk about how you moved from becoming an entrepreneur, and then now you have 3 businesses. So let's talk about that.
Thanks, Brian. Was really for me, every job, especially working with interpreters, I know how important for you the sound quality, because that's what you like. You have to hear it, and you panic. I know interpreters, they panic when they panicking in a way that, okay, like, give me a good sound, like, to work, because you get distracted. So I knew how deep that giving a good sound, it started right there. This interpreter, his performance, it really, I see the difference because as a tech, when we sit in a meeting, we're hearing the interpreter. When he's getting a good sound, his performance, like, it's wow. But as soon as something bothered them, distracted them, this is the first thing that it could make them, either he has to speak to a tech, he has to pass a note, so that it does take him out of the performance. So I focused on this. How can I always give a good sound for an interpreter? It started right there. So I started designing a console. I was the first one who put a limiter that we call it a brick wall limiter for the interpreters, in case there's a drop of a mic or somebody making noise. So that's the first design. Now, you're going to tell me why the other company, like the big companies, they didn't do that, because most companies, they look for numbers. Okay, if you have to order, how many consoles you have to order, how many. So the interpretation business, it's a very niche market. And as you know, big companies, they look at the numbers every month. So I took the action, and I said, you know what? I started doing jobs and taking that budget and start designing. And as I I came out from a Lebanese Institute for Electronics, so I was able to get the design of the circuits. This is how it really started, is how can I give a good sound to an interpreter to make the client happy and the interpreter happy. And, doing a good job every time, focusing on giving a good job, not on the revenue, and I understand there's some institution, they're able to pay the money, other institution, they're not able to pay the money. So we were doing a lot of demonstrations, benevola, and this is how we have a good relation with the client, with the professional interpreters. What's bothering you, always having good communication with the interpreter, what you're missing, what can we do better. So interpreters are also our best source of technology too,
And
because
feedback, yeah.
Yeah, we're very
it's
picky.
yeah, picky, but I know when that your performance, how can I reach that performance? So good sounding and a good service at the mic, setup, audio in the room. This is the key. And then, of course, you focus on the other issue. Also, don't forget, sometimes there's broadcast, not only you. Broadcast is getting on a press conference, is the audio was bad. So if I get it to you, so I means I get across the recording, across to the client, especially virtually. So this is how I started. I had a vision, is I wanted to do well. If I do something, I have to do it right, or
Yeah.
So-
Well,
or it doesn't work.
you talked about several aspects there, which is amazing. Like you've developed a technology to be able to protect the interpreter's hearing, which is one of the most important parts of in order to do our job. We need a good hearing, a good brain, and our
Yeah.
voice. And so you've been able to protect us basically from
Yes.
acoustic shocks, from loud noises that come into the microphone, feedback, yeah, you name it. And then you've also, when I used your consoles, I found that the design was really user friendly. And that's the other thing with interpreters, that you're busy interpreting and concentrating on the conference. You don't have time to fiddle around with buttons and stuff like that. So you
Exactly.
made it very easy to use. And from there, you also have this ability to project our voices so that you can have studio quality, like because you've also developed the receivers, right?
Exactly. Yeah, the receivers, it came out. It came out from other. We always say a good products comes out from another bad products that is not working, and then you think how you could do better. So I had the opportunity, as I said, as electronics engineer, and I had the good contacts for me from other. Of course, you're not alone. There's a team behind that always. So I said, let me try. So I tried, and believe me, is that jobs that the right jobs that I was doing on the. I never. I'm not gonna talk about money, but I always did the products came out from the jobs that we do it. It's financed by the job that we're doing. So focusing on a good job, and then I said, you know what? I'm making a good money from this job. Let me focus on doing a good job also on the equipment side. So in another word, if you have to make money, you have to spend money. So
Yes.
I did really went all the way for the and I always wanted to satisfy the client, the interpreters, and the technician, the techs. The techs has to be user friendly for the tech. You can't give the technology right away and throw it in front of everybody. No, you have to try it in parallel. Is it working? What's the weakness? What's the pros and cons? So this also the field with your professional interpreters like yourself, it gives us the chance, because sometimes you're doing your interpretation, but me on the other side on my table, I have in parallel something else going on. trying to see what could work better. How can I improve this? So working in parallel during the jobs, that's another research and development that was going on. Because remember, if you see marketing on any products, show me in life. Don't just show me letters. Don't write me text. Show me in life. It's gonna work. This is where, yeah, where the action happened is live. What all of a sudden interpreters, let's say if you have a problem, interpreters, yes, you said it yourself, Brian. Like when we're working, we can't think of buttons. We can't think of that. And the one of the things happened. I'll tell the interpreter, okay, what happened? I don't know. So you were interpreting. Of course, you're not there. So we wanted to help you on that situation. Is like we have to give you the least amount of controls that you really need. Only the other controls we leave it for the text, but I'll give you what's important to you. Yeah.
So I'd like to break down two elements. We're talking about on-site interpretation, but now since COVID, there's remote interpretation and there's a hybrid, which is a mixture of people on site and the interpreters online.
Yeah.
Have you been able to adapt the sound quality quest that you have? And when it comes to let's say remote or a hybrid interpretation?
Yes. Well, I was approached by one of the professional interpreters. Like she had a client, and they wanted to do 4 courtrooms but they didn't have the budget to have a team of interpreters in every city. And how also the other thing, not only only the budget, is sometimes, when you get a busy season, you get the availability of interpreters. So 4 series, 12 interpreters, and for an hour or 2 hours. So that's heavy. That's what the client said. It's heavy on their budget. So they said, there's any other solution? I said, listen, I was thinking, because we say about story. One day I was in Banff. I was doing interpretation, and it was like a really press conference for interpreters. That was in 2004 or 2003. And the interpreters, I saw them. They were we came all the way here for an hour. So I said, okay, then the remote. I asked the interpreter, if I do something, I could get you remotely, instead coming to Banff from Ottawa. Is that? She said that would be wonderful for a short meeting. So I could say interpreters, and also you're the being presence. I understand it's eye contact and all that as interpreters, they say, but when there's a short meeting, an hour, 2 hours, remote. So I start right away thinking, what should I do? So I started developing, and by the time I was approached with this interpreter for her client, I said, you know what? I'm ready. She said, are you ready? I said, yeah, I know how to do it.
So what did you develop? What do you do differently for?
What was it's in real time. What I developed is an algorithm, the algorithm that we added in WebSwitcher is the interpreter's sound could be shared across any device. I was the first one, I could capture the interpreter voice in real time from any device and push it to the headsets, push it to any receiver. I was the first one to do that. So and plus the interpreters, the other technology is I use the video conferencing, but the problem, as you know, with video conferencing sometimes is the lag, the bandwidth. When I had my own service reserved for my project only, give you an example of any video conference, there's a big load on it. It could disconnect. It could, so the WebSwitcher was developed video and audio in real time. on a dedicated server. So there's no way to have another client or a risk of disconnecting. So that's so the real the main important technical specification has to be there.
Is it like a Zoom?
Yeah, it's like a Zoom, but
so it's sort of a Zoom competitor.
I could say Zoom competitor with the audio is fine, but me, I have a console, exactly the same hardware console that you see it in the meeting room. So you have an interface for WebSwitcher for interpreters, so they could hand over to another interpreter. They could, they have all the standard switches, like the volume right in front of you, the knobs for switching channels. So if
it's like a simulation of a console.
Simulation of a console. Simulation of a console
on a platform.
Yeah,
on a platform. So that exactly. So that has to be easy for them when they have to switch languages, turn up the volume. So exactly simulate the console on an interface. So that was the difference, and plus it's a full bandwidth audio quality. So people in 4 different audience court, they didn't know what the interpretation in real time. So that judge, give you an example how accurate it was. The judge in Quebec was talking to a judge in Vancouver, and both speaking in their native language, and they both had a headset, and they were talking to themselves in a real time.
Wow.
This is how we did it. We did it twice.
Now, you mentioned that your initial idea of doing this was back in 2005, 2006 in Banff. So like really like it was a precursor to basically now, because Zoom, I think it was basically 2000 during the pandemic that it became popular, I say, that are more standardized to use WebEx and Zoom and MS Teams.
Yeah.
Well, they were kind of.
Did you have to mention Teams?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The MS Teams, yeah.
Every time I hire interpreters and they tell them it's going to be on Teams, they just like, they hate it.
I know,
but
can I use so
your
complicated
platform?
My text the same thing.
Yeah. Can I use your platform while I'm using Zoom, like a plugin?
Yeah.
Would that be possible?
We have a plugin. Yes.
Really?
Now I'm working exactly. I'm working on unlimited plan. The thing is, as I explained, WebSwitcher, it's on dedicated server, and it costs us. There isn't a lot of client to support because the bandwidth, we pay for the bandwidth. Now I'm working on something to get an unlimited plans. When the technology started, it's become it's very expensive, and then it start, with more users.
Yeah, over time, the prices decrease.
So the monthly cost. For me, there's a lot of cost behind that, but I'm working on something very interesting to integrate that into Zoom and MS Teams. That the simulation of the console. Yeah.
What would be the direct benefit for me as an interpreter if I had to use your platform, WebSwitcher, on top of a Zoom meeting? What would be the benefit for me?
Less errors for you to be online, or for getting your mic on or on the right channel, and the handover, instead using another device to hand over between the other colleagues that are in a different city. So inside the same platform, WebSwitcher, you'll be able to hand over. Wow. So it's easier.
Yeah, I've used it a few times. It's really smooth. It's really I love using WebSwitcher. And you've really developed something that, like, you basically brought the booth in person booth into the virtual world, and it's I haven't seen anything comparable to it. But coming back to the in-person stuff, you've also built like your own booth, like your own consoles, your own receivers. You're basically self-sufficient at this point, right? To be able to
the booth too. I went to the people they had. We have a rental department at Global EV, so always the technician and complaining about the how big it is. When you get to hotels, everybody keep complaining. So we kept talking to manufacturers in Quebec City. They said, okay, the same thing. This booth that we have, it sells a lot. We're not, as you know, it's a niche market. Everybody think about money, as I said before. So I met somebody doing he designed walls, air walls for hotels and all that. And also I have a brother also. He came out from Polytechnic. And so I said, listen, I have to do something for the interpreters, for the tech, and for the client. And one of the major problem, the idea came out, is that chairman with the Senate, the Senate, when we go to certain hotel rooms or move with the committee, they give us sometimes like only for 15 people. It's a small room. So the booth wasn't a good soundproof. And that chairman, he kept telling me, Mohammed, and I get embarrassed. He said, I keep hearing the interpreters. So I said, I'm going to do something here. Chairman, I promise you I'm going to do something. So I met these guys, and I get with my brother at Polytechnic, and we start designing this. No, it has to be like this. Then I came out with the interlock. I said, it has to be easy for the tech. The soundproof is the guy from Airwall. He did really work on the soundproofing. I did work on the module, the size, the specs to meet the ISO. It meets the ISO standard 4043 for simultaneous interpretation. So so modular, it could get into any elevator. Soundproofing. Now the interlock. He said, no, you can't, Mohammed. You can't do that with magnets. I said, no. we have to do. I said I did design it, and on the design it does work.
Yes.
Like in magnets, it's
so magnets can seal. Magnets are good enough to seal the sound from not coming out.
Now you have the magnet to interconnect, and it's a plastic, ABS plastic, and the soundproofing isolation, like between panels. So the magnet is just to hold the panels together.
Yeah.
So
I've used it. I purchased one when I owned a different company.
That's
and
that's true. And now I remember. Yeah, now I remember.
Yeah.
Yes, you have one of those. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
So
the thing that I loved the most about it was that the old booths were like 8-foot panels, so the case was even longer than that. It kind of looked like a coffin on wheels, basically, just like an oversized coffin on wheels. And so it was very difficult to get it into like a minivan, or to get it into an elevator. So like you designed something where it's 4x4, basically, like you cut it in half.
Exactly.
And so now you're
4x4,
more flexible. You can bring it into a minivan. You can bring it. Yeah, like I can't believe it fits into a minivan, like this huge booth. So it's
exactly.
you really created
so
something.
I have to keep,
and also
the size is bigger.
Yeah, it's huge. And the other thing too is that like you don't have to rent a huge truck to load it or
move it around,
carry it somewhere. Yeah,
but I can't believe that you've been able to build from scratch a soundproof booth when, as you said in the beginning, the market is so niche for simultaneous interpretation, because there are not that many companies out there that I guess would want to buy this product.
Exactly. It's an expensive product. And as you said, in any quality material, it's costly, especially when you do it on a low volume. It's like when you buy when you have to buy material for, let's say, 25 booth. It's not like when you buy something for 1,000 booth. It's so the cost involved. It's a little bit more. So you can negotiate the pricing on a small amount of raw material. Yeah. So the other thing is we work on the look too. On the look, it has to look executive also.
Yeah.
So we and the other part too is the text, as you said, Brian. Yeah, you're right. Also, when you get to a hotel, sometimes they have no freight elevators. They have they have like the old historical buildings. They have a small just handicapped stairways or something. So the big booth, as he said, 8 foot long. Everybody had problem. They had to panel it, and it wasn't good soundproofing. It wasn't deep enough now because it's completely squared, the booth. And so if Brian is doing interpretation and you, Alan, comes in, you don't bother him because you could go in. You have enough space. Also, that we took all that into consideration. Is going to bother if somebody on wheelchair, because I sell that booth to the state. I sold it to many companies in the state. And in the state now, they have the law for a wheelchair entrance the door has to be a different size. So mine meets
even for the interpreting booth.
Yeah, for the interpreter's booth. Yeah, what happened if there's a handicapped interpreter? Yeah, has to come in with his wheelchair.
Yeah.
So it
does much larger, much wider. Yeah,
much larger, wider door. Exactly.
Yeah. And like for the interpreters or for the technicians' backs too, because those big 8-foot cases, travel cases, those are, I think, 400 pounds.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, even 500 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
So we use those booths now. We used it in the studios at the beginning, as you said, before bringing our booth, and after nobody, they go to recycling. Nobody wants to use them anymore.
So we've talked about your entrepreneurial career here with Global AV and WebSwitcher, and now you've got the booth company Procom.
Yeah.
Procom
is,
and but you've brought family members along with you too, right?
Oh man, yeah.
Everyone loves Abbas. I'll just say this from the
get-go. Abbas, he had a passion in electronics as well. I said, Abbas, when he came in here, said, you have to go study, learn all the codes, electric code, sound, SPL, sound pressure. You have to get an idea, go study, and then I'll take you. Because you have that passion. I said, you're still young now. When he came in, said, you're still young. Go take a certificate. Like 1 year, 2 years doesn't take you more than that because you have that passion. So I said, when you go study a little bit and you have the practice here, you're going to be a very powerful tech. I swear. And he listened. He went in Montreal here to the institute, and he did study for a good year and a half, and then he came out. I said, okay, you ready? And then he did design his own nice speakers. He has a good sounding speakers. Like, I'm sure you're as an interpreter too, because you have passion in music and all that. Him too. So he developed. I said, Abbas, the other brand, they sell that speakers. He said, you know what? I want to do it just for my own. And now sometimes when he goes do like 1,000 people show or something, he bring his own speakers, and he's very proud of that. So he has a good ears, good tech. He works with the quality, and
and he works with the interpreters really well. Like everyone, as soon as they hear that Abbas is a technician, everyone's like, "Oh yes, this is great. This is going to be a great conference."
Yeah. He doesn't. He's a very he works in a very high standard. Yeah.
Yes.
Very high standard.
And I think, am I wrong? But I think he helped Carmen too with her van, to set her up for interpretation, so she could travel around in her van.
Yeah, he did. I set up I found the the way to do the internet for her. Yes. Yeah, to travel around and
Yeah. I remember that episode where Carmen was telling
yeah,
us about her van, and she asked someone to help her out with her internet. And I had
yeah.
some questions about that for her, and she didn't really know how to answer. So I'm going to ask you the question: how did you set up her internet? Because she was like, "Oh, it just works."
Just
So,
yeah. That's it.
so
That's a good. I was very happy to hear that. Yeah, it just works. That's what. So she, I get to
episode 42,
my
everyone.
where I was going. So you got what you need. Is good. So and she never, you know what? She never called that. That's another thing too. We don't like the client to call us for. I mean, to call us for a problem. We try to make it in a way. Let's say sometimes it could happen. A client, he set up simultaneous interpretation. I tell him, listen, if there's no tech, things could happen, could go wrong.
Mhm.
Okay, can you do something? I said, okay, listen. If there's the only thing is if there's a problem, take a break, call us. That's sometimes because there's systems that we install it goes for 2-3 weeks and they're working, so and we all know we have a good client and we have a non-profit organization. We have to help them. So it's so we'll say you call. So I said, listen, I'm gonna put it up in a way that like don't play with the system. So you're not gonna call me. So that's something I told Carmen. Yeah, we're gonna make it in a way you're not gonna call me
Ever.
because I know she travels a lot. Yeah, she travels a lot. So every time we talk to her, where are you? So to answer your question, how did it work? Is I was able to get her cell wherever she is, like the bandwidth, like from different frequencies, because every company works on a different frequencies. The only thing
You
I
mean on the
said,
cell
if
phone?
you go on your phone, every company works on different frequencies. So I get a kind of a booster that it captured the cell in the area from a tower on in a bigger antenna and send it over her SIM card. She put a SIM card inside the machine and she would work on the cell network in the area. So the trick here was because when you data is not like voice. Data, you need a better coverage in order to get the speed.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you could go in the field somewhere. You have data, but you could send emails. But are you able to connect to a video conference? That's a trick. So the bandwidth. So I was able to really capture those signals from the towers and boost it
You can
into
do
her
that?
system and wired.
You can do that?
Yeah.
You're a genius.
Are you thinking? It's you know what? I love it. When Carmen she came in, it's not for money. It's a challenge. We enjoy challenges. Yes, we enjoy it. And you know what? As an interpreter too, as friend from all aspects, we like to help. We enjoy that.
When Carmen first told us that story, I remember thinking, oh, maybe like she gets a Wi-Fi from a public library
No.
nearby or something like that. I was trying to think, how can she achieve that?
Yeah.
It's a
And
cell booster, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
The one thing she did tell us is if you're going to park your van, don't do it close to a school or a church because of the church bells and the school bells.
Yeah, that's yeah.
and when it comes to okay, so for instance, right now I'm remote. I'm using basically this microphone and a laptop to do online conferences when I'm working remote, obviously. Is there anything else that I could do to either improve my quality of life or the quality of the feed that I have? Because I'll give an example. If especially it's a bit less nowadays, but right now, let's say I'm doing a conference and not everyone has a good microphone on the other hand. And then I can't adjust, like I don't have anything to adjust
Yeah,
the bass,
from a
the
distance.
treble, or sometimes there's a high pitched sound. I've got no protection when I'm working remote, and there's nothing in my headset that protects me against that. Is there anything that you've developed, what you thought about developing to fill that gap for the interpreter?
Yeah, the interpreter, don't get me wrong, not everyone like you technical. That's
Right.
very so when we think of something, exactly, we have to make sure that everybody could use it, and you're not gonna throw it in the on the side. We take the time to do it, and there is no replacement for a tech on in the room, like in the room. Even if they come out with the best AI or whatever, somebody has to hook up this, somebody has to patch this, somebody has to feed this video conference. Someone has to get it right. Now, for you as an interpreter on your studio, yes, you could do something. Now the AI is powerful to eliminate noise. Presently, I'm using a microphone. I'm not using the laptop. I'm using a pod that's with a noise. We have a UPS. It kicked in before, and I'm sure you didn't hear any fan. Did you hear any fan or a noise in the background?
No.
No.
So yeah, I'm in my like lab room here, and I have a noise stopper that AI it was developed. There's a huge company in AI in the US that it's not our field is now with the AI towards the interpreters we are more into control and merging different technology together, and we add on it to make it better. So for you as an interpreter now, really the AI could stop noise coming to your ears. It's very powerful now.
What is it called?
It's crisp.ai. You could add that software on your
On your laptop?
on your laptop.
It's like a plugin that I add.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. Crisp.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so now when you add it on, it's a very user friendly. It's an app. It does improve your sound out and in. Yeah,
Really?
which is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the sound, even if you're noisy, let's say if you had it now on your laptop and you're working, you would never hear any noise or barking dogs or whatever. So,
Oh.
So, Brian,
even if
from
I
next
move
episode,
away,
the sound quality will improve a lot.
I know.
yeah,
We're gonna start using
yeah,
it.
exactly. So even I go far from the microphone. Look, my audio stays steady. Checks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Oh,
So it's very powerful.
I love these
The
things.
AI.
But
Yeah. So
also,
we're implementing that in every audio. Like in our studios, I implemented that about a year ago. So that's why in my studio too, it sounds the interpreters. Yeah, it removes the headache from you too. That's the other thing.
absolutely.
Interpreters would you tell me you're a better person to explain that. Tell me what noise could do for your head when you're interpreting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
that's. I mean, first of all, you can get damage, and if my ears are damaged, then my career is done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
protection is the first thing I have in mind, and of course, the second one is better sound equals, as you said, better performance.
Yeah.
So it's really essential, and I'm definitely going to try this. Although we're not sponsored, I mean, I have to say we're not sponsored by this company,
We're not
so we can
sponsored,
talk
we're not
about any
paid.
company
We're not paid.
very openly. We can do a review later, and maybe in another episode.
Yes, we will tell you. Actually, we'll test it out for next episode and see if
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
difference
yeah,
is. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I mean it's great, and like I think it's also like Alain and I were big fans of technology and trying to improve our own sounds and everything. So in a lot of ways, like interpreters also need to have some kind of accountability. Like they can't be interpreting at a cafe, or they can't be interpreting with earbuds, you know, like wireless earbuds, like or iBud. What do you call the
Yeah, earpods. Yeah,
AirPods
earbuds.
or
Yeah, I know.
AirPods Max or
Yeah, like I mean, you got to keep it professional, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly. Well, that's why it's always, as an interpreter, I always, as you suggesting, you have find find a quiet place. Like Alain, I like that when Alain he put that on his email. Like, found a quiet place is important. Since you know your job, don't tell me like if you got a surprise like with the client last minute, I understand you take it. But if you're doing that professional job, because that also, it does embarrass the tech. The tech too is, can you do something? Like the client, he goes to the tech right away. Can you do something? I don't, I hear noise. I hear that. I hear that. I hear that.
well,
So
I mean,
as a professional interpreter has
that's
to,
right. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't want to go into a rant here, but
yeah,
sometimes when I when I clearly see, although we're remote, that my booth partner is either on the kitchen counter and you hear people behind,
yeah,
or you hear a microwave, or you hear a dog outside, or a motorcycle because you're
yeah,
God knows where, or you're doing this from your car. Yes, I've seen that. I've heard that. Not going to name who. You know who you are.
yeah.
Then I mean, for me at least, I want to make sure in my case that I'm always professional, that I'm in my studio, that I have a high quality microphone, that I have a wired connection, everything is wired, and I'm going to make sure for my client, for myself, and for my booth partner that I'm always at the top of my game.
yeah, because if
Yeah.
not, the
And
other thing too is like, say I hire an interpreter, but then I hire a WebSwitcher to be able to do the interface. So then, and the interpreter is like using AirPods. Like that interpreter is going to make himself look bad. Is going to make UN language services look bad. Is going to make WebSwitcher look
Exactly.
bad. Like such a snowball effect when you're using like basically shitty equipment for your to be able to do a
Yeah,
professional job.
yeah,
well,
yeah.
I mean, and I don't understand honestly how interpreters who have now to rely on technology and that we're being remote, and it's now your responsibility to make sure that you provide the best sound quality. I understand that before, when interpreters just got in the booth, they didn't have to take care of any part of the technical aspect. They just sat there, and then it was the technician's responsibility to take care of all of that. I understand that interpreters didn't really care before, but in the last 5 6 years, the world has changed, and I don't understand how people can still get $5 headsets to perform at the highest level, or maybe they don't want to.
Professional job. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And plus interpreter, even if you go to a school, I can't go to a school to learn interpretation because I didn't have that passion, or I didn't have, it's I always tell them interpreters started in a passion first. They do interpretation in the school, they do interpretation in maybe in a courthouse or something. This is how they start, and then they decide to go study. So
Mhm.
it's in so it's a very professional, very professional career. So don't
Yeah.
let it go for a small fast headset or something. Yeah,
Yeah, and you can't slip, or else like you might as well just give your job over to AI. And speaking of which, it's a kind of a good transition because you have had experience with both, right? And live
yeah,
people doing interpretation and AI doing interpretation.
exactly. Yeah, I do. The AI, I explained before, the AI, first of all, AI, you can't, if it's going, if you stop it, uh, we're talking about live, not recording that you could edit and something else, you could correct it. I'm
Yes.
talking about live event.
Yeah.
Live event using AI up to date. And I could say for another, I'll give it another maybe at least 4 or 5 years. There's a big errors, especially, and you see it in a big government meetings or big high profile. Let's say one of your clients, like very high profile, is like last time. Sometimes he starts speaking in English. I'm talking about Canada now, English, and then he switches to French.
In the same sentence sometimes.
Yeah, in the same sentence. Exactly. So the AI, what it does, it takes samples of the language, and then do the interpretation for it. That time here, it's there's a adjustment. The AI companies having trouble is adjusting the samples. How long? Because as a language, sometimes the sentence is long, sometimes it's shorter. Now, when they shorter the sample to take that language, the AI doesn't understand the means of that anymore. If you don't take a long sentence for the AI to understand the content of that meaning, so he might after he does one phrase right, the other phrase wrong. So you tell me as an interpreter, if I get phrases back and forth, wrong, right, what's going to happen here?
Well, maybe once it's not that bad. Do that for the whole day. I mean, because conferences usually last the whole day, and if for a whole day you've got a number of errors that are so high, then it's going to get annoying for everyone.
Exactly.
And if interpretation is important for you, you're not going to tolerate that. If you just think, oh, you know what, I just need something to make sure that it's in both languages, and I don't really care if people understand, that's one thing. But if the level of error is too high, then
Exactly.
even 10% would be too high, even 5%.
Second error. So taking the samples. So if they shorter that sample of picking up and interpreting, so that's first error. Second error could happen. I'm talking on a microphone here, and I'm doing a conference, and for some reason the microphone did pick up a different sound. Somebody maybe telling him, okay, can you shorter this? The AI is going to interpret that. It's going to pick up. It doesn't know who's talking. Mm-hmm. The AI doesn't distinguish, okay, I have to just interpret this person only, that voice. No, because he's getting a feed that to do interpretation. So if two people are discussing, one talking like a little bit, let's say with overlapping each other or something, the AI will lose it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, humans, we can distinguish who's talking. The AI can't.
So as a real interpreter, exactly, and I'm happy that you brought this subject. It's so important now. The AI now, for that reason. So second thing, picking up a different voice. That's a problem. Third thing is everybody has the same accent. Is everybody has the same quality? Is it a noisy environment? Is the AI were able? Sometimes the sound is good, sometimes it's bad. Now the real interpreter, he could talk to me. He could tell me. He could keep trying as an interpreter, but at least you don't make an error. Even if let's say if you pause. At least you pause the conference, but what's going to happen to the AI? Can you start pausing, doing like you're dealing with the computers? So that's another error here is about the sound quality, if it's noisy or talking far away. So
wouldn't AI
different interpretation?
But wouldn't AI be more work for the technician? because the technician already has to
Yeah.
take care of everything, the event, the microphone, the sound quality, the bandwidth, you name it. Then if the technician has to take care on top of that of the quality of the interpretation,
That's
which is usually the domain of another human being with another profession,
yeah.
then it gives even more work to the technician, and maybe technicians don't want to take care of that.
Of course, because it puts say it in a different way, Alain. It puts more stress on the tech.
Yeah.
Right.
More responsibility.
More responsibility. So then he had to get a second tech, somebody, as you said, another person in charge. He's just in charge for the AI because it's live. Okay, if something goes wrong, okay, I'm not responsible because I'm dealing with computers here and connection. Now, if the second thing, very important, the lag for the AI. If anybody, like we tried so many of the AI, we're trying to do, learning. You take the agent, you make it learn. Yes, is getting there. You have to get. But it's not. It's in progress, but it's not before 5-6 years now. But as you said, it's always gonna take a second tech. It always gonna take a professional, like a second backup. You have to have a backup. What happened if for some reason, last time we heard you hear it with the big. I was doing a video conference on Google yesterday. Maybe they had to do an upgrade or something. I get disconnected from Google. So things like that could happen. Nobody guarantee you 100%. Now, second thing, if doing interpretation, the first hour, for some reason, was a big load on because everybody knows the big players now, Meta, ChatGPT. And also you dealing also with the voice. What happened is you're doing what the AI does now. It takes the wording, translate, and then change from text to audio. So this delay here, there's a delay. Now, after an hour doing interpretation with AI, everything is fine. And after, the delay is, let's say, 7 seconds. Then it goes up to 10 seconds. And then by 2 hours, it's going to go 20 seconds. So now the client is looking at the screen. There's a slide he's talking about, let's say, the numbers of the last year AGM, and then the interpretation talking about the sentences that he was talking 20 seconds ago on a different slide. So the syncing, that lag is very bad on live event.
So there's a lag that starts to get
Build up.
longer
Build up.
as the AI interprets, and it builds and builds and builds, and
Yes.
then
'Cause it's
there's
trying
a
to catch
spinning
up,
wheel.
yeah.
It's trying to catch up.
It-
But I've got a question here. You keep saying 4 or 5 years things may be different, but I think I may have a second opinion here, and let me know what you think. I think that it's more like self-driving cars. So self-driving cars, until they're not 100% or maybe 110%,
Yeah.
people won't trust it for something important.
Mm-hmm.
So people can accept errors from human. People cannot accept errors from machine as well. So even if the technology gets very, very close, we're still going to rely on humans, because ultimately, when something is really important, we're going to think that human judgment is better than maybe the machine will screw up this time.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. I agree. In 5 years, what I'm saying is, give you an example. Let's say video conferencing. Before, client used to call, set up a hardware for video conferencing for the camera and everything. Now, in 5 seconds, you could open a link and get a video conference link, and everybody log in. What's going to happen in 5 years? Maybe is going to be on this platform here. So I click a button and I get interpretation in voice. Now, the errors, as you said, but not on the important meetings. The important meetings is going to stay. That's a problem. What's scary? It's a self-service that getting embedded in the platforms. So give you an example now using Zoom. Zoom is going to have soon, let's say, the option to have a voice instead of the channels that you inject the human interpreter inside. So voice now, the errors, of course, is going to be errors and all that, but there's too bad. There's some people maybe they will accept that. So we can't. The problem is you can't stop from progressing in technology because you're going to be left behind. Now, the professional interpreter, if we're going on hybrid and live event, it's a must for a live interpreter because the cost of backup and connection and you pay per hour for the AI interpretation, that cost, it's a lot better with a real interpreter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was just thinking about the
Yeah.
price. I'm like, you're paying for the AI service, plus you're paying for a technician to monitor it. Like at the end of the day, you're not really saving any money unless you're like doing, say, a 10 language conference. Like, then you're not going to pay 10 teams of interpreters. You're going to pay for one AI, right?
Yeah, exactly. In now, and in 5 years, I see it more into a trade shows. When you walk into a trade show, there's speaking one language. Let's say the demonstration in English. Then you scan the barcode with your phone, and you get an idea. But it's never a real meeting that you really want to get the right message to you. Trade show is very powerful now. In trade show, they say as this session is being interpreted in 10 different languages. Yeah, but the lag is there. But at least they cover their their job by saying we're supplying simultaneous interpretation. Sometimes people, they take it, okay, do you offer simultaneous translation? So then they offer it. Now, this is a self-service side. Now, if they go on a trade show, they just take the microphone feed and they feed it into a computer and they let it go. Now, what it does after, good luck. Good luck. Yeah. So,
well, maybe it's gibberish and people don't even notice or complain about it.
Yeah, and I was just thinking too about the whole 10 language and you're saving money. But if you're gonna need to do a conference where you need 10 different languages, you're gonna need things to be pretty precise. So, scratch what I said.
yeah. But what they're doing now, they getting right interpreters in Europe. Being on the ISO committee, we talk to all the technicians across Europe. In Europe, is very, most meetings 5-6 languages, so they get one live interpreter, human interpreter, right?
Yeah,
and then they take your interpretation and they feed it into other languages because they know you're doing the right interpretation, and they feed it to the other languges, and then they get it.
I feel
this
so
way.
used.
They use your voice to get the other languages. Yes, with the AI. This is they cheating on the technology. Is they taking your
I feel violated.
Yeah. But at least you're doing important languages, English and French, so which is
absolutely
great,
especially in Canada.
Especially in Canada, that's for sure.
Yeah, but anyways, this was
foreign languages are very hard now. Everybody's using AI. Foreign languages is very tough.
Hey, even English now is becoming harder and harder for people because people use AI to spell check their own mistakes and to write their emails.
Oh,
so people won't even be able to write anymore or read or, I can't read, summarize it. I can't write, spell check this email. I can't talk, use the AI. So basically, you will be like, I don't know. The AI will take over.
Will take over. Well, AI. It's unfortunately like that is like in especially technology. Everybody has the cell phones. You only need a car with technology. You only need a home appliances with technology now. It doesn't stop. Yeah.
This is like I might digress here, but I'm teaching my son to drive, and now he has to park, and now there's a camera, right? So he can just follow the line, and I'm like, geez, when I was young, I would just do like this, and then I would just put my hand there, and I'm okay. I would drive.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would just park very quickly. But now, you got to follow the little line with the little camera. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, my
too
car
much
my car
technology.
does the parallel parking on its own. You just press a
No.
button.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I don't
my
trust
God.
it. I
Yeah.
still do it
I
myself.
was never. Yeah, but you don't trust it, Brian, right?
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
you do it yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, me too. I look in the camera, I close it after, and I do it. You have to turn your neck. Exactly. You have to.
Absolutely, yeah.
You have to.
Anyways, this has been an awesome hour. I wish we had more time, but this was an amazing overview of what you've done as an entrepreneur. You've really done
Thank you.
some incredible things throughout the years, and I've loved working for you for the last.
Thank
20
you.
years. It's
And
been
us as well it's a key, like a one turnkey system with UN languages and bringing to the client. And this is what we want. Always a key system that at the end of point is we were both working on a happy client.
absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Happy clients,
Yeah.
happy interpreters, happy
Happy
everyone.
interpreters.
Don't forget, everyone, like, share, subscribe, comment, and found out about all of these great technologies that we talked about. All right. Mohammed, thank you. Brian, I'll give you the last word.
Yes, thank you again, Mohammed, for sharing all your insights and all your forecasting of the future with AI, and yeah, best of luck for the years to come. And say hi to Abbas for us, okay?
Thank you very much, and all the best, and enjoy your holiday, and I'm looking forward to work with you next year
Sounds good.
with the best audio.
All right.
All
See you
right.
next time.
Take care. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.
Thank you.